Okay, and so now we're going to look at proteins and what they are and what they do. So the monomer for protein is called an amino acid. There are 20 different types of amino acids used in the human body. And you may have heard of some: cysteine, leucine, and some of them you can even buy, I believe, as nutritional supplements. Okay. And then the polymer is called protein. If it's a small protein, you may see it written as peptide. Okay. And so let's take a minute and look a little bit more closely at the structure of these monomers and polymers. So here's a monomer. It's an amino acid, and you're going to notice there's 3 different parts: an amino part, a central carbon, and this acidic group. Okay. And let me just say that, say this was an amino acid, we've got these 3 parts: amino, central carbon, and the acid part. It's called a carboxyl group. This is the same for all 20 amino acids. Now each of these amino acids is going to have something different hanging off of it. And that's just called R generically by saying it has a different group hanging off. So if I happen to be, let's say, the amino acid called alanine, well, this may be my R group right here. But if I am, say, valine, which is another amino acid, well, I'm going to hook this. As you notice, for both of those, this part is the same. It's only this part is different. Okay, so this might be one amino acid, same central part, but it's going to be a different amino acid. Again, same central part, but here we go, a different amino acid. Okay, and we can keep doing this until we get a range of different amino acids. Now those are our monomers, so 20 different types of subunits. Now we can hook those together with the R groups hanging off. Okay, so here we go. One type, and actually let me make this bigger so it's a little easier to see. Okay, so here we go. One type of amino acid, and we're going to hook it to another type. And here we're making it bigger, okay? We're making this protein. And you may notice, here it is, it's even bigger. So right now we've got 4 amino acids hooked up together, each with its own R group. Okay? And here we go. Here's another one. Okay? So here's a long protein, each with its own R group. Why does this matter? Well, if you look here, the structure is pretty darn different, okay, for each one of these. So that means that it's going to give it a unique function. Keep in mind, we've got 20 different choices here. So the body can make a whole bunch of proteins, all with different structures and all with different functions. Okay? So what that means is that proteins, because their structures are so versatile, they're actually going to perform the vast majority of functions inside of the cell. So anything a cell does, moves, contracts, does a chemical reaction, all of those sorts of things, recognizes a bacteria inside of your body and eats it up. Most of those things somewhere are going to involve a protein. Okay, and that's because you've got 20 different amino acids, 20 different monomers, subunits to choose from, and you can make a whole bunch of different structures, all with unique functions. Now, there is an example in your notes packet, and actually while I'm here, I should just say this is a chart to help you fill in some of these basics about your macromolecules. So what's the monomer, what's the polymer, what's the function, are there specific places that you might find it? And also in your notes packet is something to help you think about actually understanding disease and how structure relates to function. So this is a problem that I give my students in class, and it turns out each one of these little circles, we're looking at our skin, so this is a slice of skin. You notice here's the hair, and then if you scrape your skin you probably bleed. Well, this is going deep into the skin. Here are the blood vessels in red and blue. Okay, each one of these little circles, we're going up close to the skin, each one of these circles is a cell of the skin. Okay, and they're held really tight together by proteins. Proteins help lock those cells together. Okay, so the problem that I give my students is that this protein, and I just call it skin tack, it's actually a real protein and it has a different name, but I call it skin tack for short, keeps the layers of your skin attached to each other. But you discover a person with a mutated form of this protein, and what that means is that one amino acid has been changed. So let me show you what that means if it's helpful. So say this is the structure of your normal protein. Well, the mutant version means that this has been swapped out. We've got something different. And what did we say about structure and function? Think about it. So, if these questions take you through and it asks you, do you think the mutated version of this protein has the same structure as the normal version? And then it asks you to think, do you think the mutated version has the same function as the normal version? And then I want you to think, from knowing about what that protein does, and remind yourself, what's the normal function of this protein and why it's important? What does that do to hold those cells of the skin together? Now I want you to think, if this thing is mutated, what's been lost and what will be the consequences for the person with the mutated protein? What are the symptoms? So I want you to follow that logic. The logic is what's important, okay? Getting to the end, okay, but I want you to be able to follow those logical steps and think it through. And email your instructor. I'll give you one hint. This is a newborn baby's foot. One protein is mutated. That's skin tack protein, and this is what you end up with. So I want you to think through why. Okay. All right, and here's some other examples of just one amino acid being wrong. You can click on these links, and it'll actually take you to more information at Mayo Clinic. Mayo is a great, reputable website for finding information about diseases, and so it'll take you there so you can learn more about diseases that are caused when just one amino acid has been changed.